Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Please hit the subscribe button down below and so you can see my other videos. I am coming on here right now to actually read the letter, but since I'm new to YouTube and I don't know all the rules and regulations and copyright and all that, I'm going to paraphrase. So I'm not going to read the letter exactly. I will read the sentence and then I'm going to sum it up what it says. I have it all printed out here. And he wrote the letter to this author on April 23rd, 2019. But she reached out to him in I think it was March or something, and he got back to her. Or she reached out to him in February, and he got back to her in March. And so he was working on the letter while she was working on the book and all of that. And he preferred to put it in a letter because he thought that their conversations were being recorded and that he didn't want them recorded. So he'd rather have his handwriting on paper. So either way, I think that it was very incriminating, and let's just read the letter. It says that he dated it April 23rd, 2019, and he pretty much says hi at the beginning. And he hopes her well. And he said that it was nice talking to her. And he said that he knows that 15-minute time frame is a pain. He says that sometimes he can get back on the phone, but usually there's other prisoners that are waiting in line to use the phone. So they only have a certain amount of time out of their cells. So he was being respectful of the other prisoners and wasn't calling right back. But he says that sometimes he can do that. But again, the other inmates were waiting for the phone. So he wanted to respect their time. He also asked about her father. I guess he must be under the weather. And he let her know that he was sending prayers for her, or for her dad. He said that he had found out about the petition and that it blew his mind that people really wanted him to take these pictures down. And it really bothered him that people wanted him to suffer like that, was what he said. And that if they ever took his pictures, that he still had his memories and they could never take that away from him. And he also says, he said that he got a letter from another inmate from another institution that said that if he had to take his pictures down, then the hundreds of other murderers would have to take down the pictures of their families because they had murdered their families and they had the pictures on the wall. He said that when she asked if he felt like he should be incarcerated, he said that he definitely thought that he should, and I guess she had asked him if he ever imagined that he would do something like that. And oh no, she asked if he ever thought that he would do it again. And he said that there was no way, that he'd never imagined himself doing anything like that again, or to be a danger to society. He said that he absolutely thought that this was just a one-time thing if he ever were released. He said that he would go into ministry work. We all know that he is a jailhouse. He found God in jail. He had jailhouse religion. He said that, let's see, he would start a ministry and go to prisons and help people in the prisons. And he also said, sorry, my nose is running really bad. And he possibly wants to be a chaplain. And he said if God ever led him in that way, he would. He said maybe the laws would change. and that his attorney and his team saw that he was different and that they knew that this was only a one-time thing. And he said the laws were different in Europe and in California, and some people don't have to spend 20 to 25 years on their life sentence. And so he said that there's hope for life outside of prison for all prisoners that have life. And he said that he knows he's physically in prison, but he said he's behind the walls, but he feels like his spirit is free and he's free with Christ, is what he's saying. That he might be in prison, but he's still free with Christ now, and he's found God and all of that. He said to the author in this letter, if God keeps putting it in your heart that I'm not telling the whole story, then you're absolutely correct. He said he doesn't like saying stuff like that over the phone because, as I told you earlier, of the recording, and he didn't know who was screening his calls. And he talks about a vision in the letter that he evidently had already told her about, that he had on August 13th when he was in the bed after the murders. And basically this vision, he says that he had days before the murder, or weeks before the murders. He did admit that he was planning out these murders for 3 weeks to a month before they happened. And that he would have this reoccurring vision that he would wake up on his bed alone without his family and every light in the house would be on. Well, he says the night of the murders, he went to bed alone in his house without his family. He was positive he turned all the lights out, and that he woke up and all the lights were on, and that his vision had came true. And other people have talked about a dark entity at that house when they've went to the house after the murders. So, let's see. He said he didn't know if she wanted the vision in his book or if God does, but he wanted to tell her all the things that he had left out. And basically he said that the day before the murders, he had put the girls to bed and walked away, and he was telling himself that that was the last time he was tucking them in. Now, he says that he kills the girls the next day, right before he killed Shanann, but we'll never know if he thought that was the last time he'll ever tuck them in, because he killed them then. Because it says that Bella kept getting up, so it actually wasn't the last time he tucked her in. So she kept getting up, asking when mommy would be home, and so he probably ended up tucking her in a lot more than that. So I'm not quite sure that he killed those girls in the morning, or tried to kill them because they got back up, or if he did it the night before, as he's talking in this letter, that's the last time he was going to be tucking them in. He said he knew what was going to happen the day before, and he did absolutely nothing to stop it. He felt nothing to the entire world. He had went to a birthday party. He had done water balloons. He had a good time. They all had fun on the way home, singing. He came home, gave them a bath. He took a shower. They ate dinner. He read more stories and sang more bedtime songs, and that he wasn't registering anything. He said that when Shanann had to be somewhere, that he always enjoyed playing with the girls and hanging out with them, and that it was their opportunity to bond. And yet the night before, he couldn't stop himself, and that he knew that he was going to do it the next morning. And then his next point is that on August 13th, the morning of, that he killed the girls first. He went in their room, so they wouldn't have to see what he would do to Shanann. And then he said he went back into Bella's room and then into Cece's room. He said that he just used a pillow to smother them from their bed. And he said that's why the cause of death was smothering. he said that he left Cece's room and he went back to his room, and that's when the argument takes place. And he said that once Shanann had passed, that the girls woke back up. And he wasn't sure how they woke back up because he was positive that they were dead when he did it the first time. And so then he said that he saw in Bella's eyes that they were bruised and that they had looked like they went through trauma, and that just made it much, much worse, knowing that he had done this first and knowing he had to take their lives again at the location. And then his third point was that the medical examiners found oxycodone in Shanann's system because he gave it to her. He thought it would be cause a miscarriage, and it would be easier to be with Nicole Kessinger if Shanann wasn't pregnant. So maybe if she would have miscarried, he wouldn't have followed through the murders, but I don't know. We do not know. He says here that he had a spiritual visit from Cece in his cell, and that she was dancing around a chair. And whenever she was dancing, all the folders on the chair started moving. And for some reason, he thought that she was in trouble. So he said, "Watch out, get away, watch out." And then he says he woke up and he's hoping that he gets to see her again. And he also says he wants to clear his head better before he goes to sleep. That's all it says. He needs to clear his head better before he goes to sleep, and that might help. And I don't know if that will help him not to see Cece or will help him to see Cece. And then the last paragraph that he says is he likes the John 10:10 passage that she sent him. And he wished he would have heard the Lord calling him back in June, July, and August. And that if we're running after our sins, we won't hear God's call. And he says that he couldn't discern between the good spirits and the evil spirits. And that eventually that sent him into a deep pit that he could not climb out of. So obviously he was hearing voices and spirits and demons and all kinds of stuff. So this was part of the letter. Take care and God bless, Chris. So I still haven't found out if there's more than one letter. I'm continuing to do my research. I know that there is this letter, but I am going to see if I can find some more, and I will come back and read those to you guys. We are getting ready to go over chapter 16 in Letters from Christopher. So subscribe to this channel so you won't miss anything. And yeah, that's the letter. That is the full letter. And I will find out if there are any more. Okay? Because some people are saying there's only one. Some people are saying there were more than one. And so we just don't know. But there have been YouTubers that go to the house that say that they saw a little girl in the window. There's other YouTubers that went to the old house and said that the light came on while they were there. And so there's other YouTubers that said since they've been following this case that they have had weird stuff go on. And so there is some dark, I do agree, there's something very dark surrounding him and all of this. And I know that in Frederick, Colorado, I lived there before, and one of the worst days of my life happened while I was in Frederick, Colorado. So I don't know if that is the town or what, but I do know that I personally used to still thrive, and I got sucked in, and I spent thousands of dollars, and I bombarded my Facebook with it. And so I can relate to some of the things that are going on in this case. I'm also from North Carolina, and so is Shanann's family and Chris's family. And so I'm probably never going to get over this. Ever. And Chris is talking about how he don't know how people can't get over it, but it is not that you abused your children and your wife. It is that you killed them, and you don't get over death. I mean, my father died 6 years ago. I'm not over that. My mother was murdered 20 years ago by my stepfather, and I'm not over that. So it's just crazy how his mind works, and it's crazy how he did not think any past the day of the murders. He did not think about people calling her phone. He did not think about friends that might have had plans with her. He did not think of any of that. And so he really, really is delusional. But that's the letter. I will be back. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I know I'm begging, but I would love to have... I get super excited when I get one subscriber or one comment. So let's go, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.